the one, the only Benzion. Good morning and welcome to Yeshiva YouTube. Iyun Benzion. Today's daf is Benzion Sotah daf Mem Vav, number 46. Pretty long daf. This daf deals extensively a continuation of discussion of Egla Rufa, which really discussed also yesterday's daf Mem Hey. One of the things that it says in the Mishnah on Mem Hey Amud Beis, at the bottom, which the Gemara explains on daf Mem Vav, is that the people that when they wash their hands, they decapitate the calf, they wash their hands, and they make a declaration, and they say, we're not responsible, we didn't kill this person, and we didn't see him. What does it mean, we didn't kill him? Obviously, there's a righteous people from Benzion, they didn't kill him, especially he died on the derech, he didn't die in the city. It means that he didn't come to us asking for food, that he should have food when he travels, and we didn't give it to him. Or he didn't come seeking an escort, and we didn't provide an escort. We didn't know that he left, basically they're saying. If we would have known, we would have provided him with food and an escort. So they have to say that, because seemingly what? If they did come to him, if he came to them and asked for them food and they didn't give him, or he asked for an escort and they didn't give it to him, they're responsible. Maybe there's no Egla Rufa, maybe there's no atonement. Egla Rufa is an atonement. The pasuk says, right? The Mishnah continues, Kaper la'amcha Yisrael asher badita v'al dam naki b'kerav amecha. That they're atoned by doing this Egla Rufa. They're somehow responsible for it because they did not. So what's going on over here? Does it mean, as Mefarshim talk about it, the commentators talk about it, what if they actually were responsible? Do you have kapar or not? And I believe, of course, they would be responsible. You still do Egla Rufa, even if he actually came to them and they denied him bread, an escort. What exactly happened over here? This person, he died in the middle of, why is he dead? So I think what we're talking about over here is we're talking about a suicide. That's what I really believe was going on over here. For example, the Gemara said in Daf Mem Hey, it has to be someone that's not covered, right? If he was covered in a pile of rubble, why is that excluded? I mean, the Torah says, Ba'adama, velo b'tamon, right? He was covered with rubble. So then we see that he died of natural causes, or someone murdered him. Or he's hanging on a tree, or he's safa gabe mayim. Someone drowned him. Someone murdered him, right? That's not a case of Egla Rufa, right? And there's right chalal. The word chalal teaches me lo chanuk, right? You need two things: that he didn't die of strangulation, and also that he's not on a tree. Now you might think maybe he hung himself on the tree, but the fact that it says two different exclusions, one that he's not strangled, and one that he's not hanging on a tree, shows that we're talking about strangled by somebody else, hanging on a tree. Someone else killed him and hung him on a tree. So that's the reason also that if he's next to the border, where it's next to a neighboring non-Jewish country, he's next to between two cities of the Kochavim, where it's Matzoi, where it's common to be murdered. They're not responsible. There's no parsha of Egla Rufa. Parsha of Egla Rufa is because he didn't get the proper escort. Why? And the Gemara talks about escorting someone, how important it is to escort someone on Memvav Beis. That really, and it says, besides the thing that you have to provide an escort for someone, you also have to seek an escort. What's talking about over here? When someone leaves a city, they're staying in a city, and now they're traveling on the road for a long time. A lot of times very lonely on the road. The reason Levaya is so important is for an emotional need. The food also it's not so much that he shouldn't starve on the way. That's not what we're worried about. We're worried that it's like a care package. You give him a nice package, you escort him out, you make the person feel worthwhile. A lot of times when a person is traveling by himself, Levaya is really, unless it's a Talmud for Ravo Muvak, right, which you escort him 12 mil, 3 parsos, it's not, it can be, the Gemara says even the minimum escorting is to show him the way. Right? I remember when I was younger, and I went to some of my Rebbeim's houses, some of the Rosh Yeshiva. They didn't escort me out, even though the Gemara says a Talmud L'Rav has to escort him out. At least the Bura Shalir, but they didn't do that. But they used to show me. They asked me, "Do you know how to get back?" Directions. At least it's some sort of comfort to escort the person. So on his way back, he feels people care about him. When you go on a path, a long journey between two cities, when people travel a lot, they're lonely. You need that emotional support that people care about you. You were in a city, they sent a care package to you, they escorted you at least partially, they told you the direction. It's about caring about the person. A lot of the Eglah Rufa is only talking about a case where I'm worried, possibly, we don't know definitively, possibly the person committed suicide. Why did he commit suicide on the way? He's lonely. Why is he lonely? Because we didn't search after him and escort him and provide him with food, right? Even if he actually came to us, right? And we didn't give him food or we didn't escort him. It's the same thing. It's the suicide that we're worried about. He might have been a suicide, right? All these cases where it seems that it's a murder, right? They're not responsible for that. He got murdered. That's not their responsibility. Their responsibility is because they could have prevented his suicide. That's what I think we're worried about. They could have prevented his suicide, and by not showing the care, not providing escort, and not providing him with food, right? They have to actually go after him. They have to find out people when a guest comes to your city. You have to inquire about that guest, make sure he's taken care of, and when he goes away, make sure that he has the food, right? So they're partially to blame, even if they didn't know that he left, because they were supposed to search after him and provide him with food. All they're saying is that, right, he didn't come to us and ask us, we didn't give it to him. That would be really irresponsible, and they definitely have to do that garufa. But even more than that, they have to atone for something, the fact that they didn't search after him and provide him with the emotional support they needed, so he shouldn't commit suicide on the path, I believe. And that's the idea of Eglah Arufa. Basically what they're doing with the calf is they're decapitating him from behind, which is really, when someone kills you, they don't usually decapitate you from behind. Usually, the Aramis is based in, they do it from the front of the neck. Shechita is done from the front of the neck. Decapitating is basically where the person just crumbles. He crumbles himself from the back of his neck because he can't, a lot of people, they travel on a long way, they're lonely. Psychologically, it has a toll, emotionally it has a toll on them, and they don't have the power to go on. So that's really what Eglah Arufa is all about. Hope you enjoyed today's share. See you on the next one.